Today's November 14th. All MLB awards are being announced, literally, I think, while we're doing this show. But we've got other things to talk about. We actually got the Pirates hiring people. You're listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Yes, guys. Thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk about... I'm like blanking, dude.
You all of a sudden turned Canadian?
Yeah, we talk about...
We're talking about the Pirates.
Talking about all them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. I'm joined, as always, by my brother, Jake. What's up, Jake?
What's going on, man?
We were trying to follow along with these MLB awards, thinking it was an hour-long show, but they're still rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, they're taking forever.
All right, let's skip to the end of the all MLB talk, possibly, maybe. Are the Pirates winning anything tonight? Maybe not.
I doubt it.
You got to think Paul Skenes is about the only guy who has a shot to win something tonight.
Yeah.
Depending on how many starting pitchers they do. I mean, he's going to be...
Who knows?
If they do several of them, I mean, I could see maybe a second team.
Sure.
He's there.
Yeah, good point. Why would you go if you weren't getting anything? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, well, that's a good point. I don't know. Either way, we got stuff to talk about, man.
Yeah.
I didn't write an intro before we kicked that off. Did you notice that? Which is why I was like fumbling around. I just was like, let's fire something off here.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man. It's fine. It's all good.
Pirates made some hires. That's going to be the big thing we're going to talk about tonight. Also, it is award season this week and next week. And so we will kind of get into some things there, at least the relevant things to us.
You drinking anything tonight?
I am. And it's the small one, but it's what he got me. But we're back, man.
Nice.
We're back with the 1919. This is the Pony Can 7.5 ounce, which actually is probably good for me for the podcast. Let's get it in the audio for you people who like the sounds, whatever that is. Oh, he's got something. What do you got there, Jake?
Sparks. Like I said, tough to get other stuff down here, but
that's an interesting bottle, though.
That's the OG, so they just never changed it with the glass bottle. But it's not a twist top. I had to actually use a bottle opener for it.
Oh, okay. I like that. Anybody here live in the chat, if you're having a root beer or a soda or anything else, let us know. The Rays are going to play all their home games in Tampa. Did you see that? But not in St. Pete.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's actually kind of funny because they play in St. Pete all the time, and now they're actually going to be in Tampa playing at the Yankees spring training, which is the biggest spring training field in Florida. 11,000.
They might be able to fill it up.
Maybe. What was their average attendance last year? Go ahead. I'm going to look up their average attendance while you go ahead.
It's got to be a better atmosphere than that dome. That was awful. They went there in, what was it, 2010 I was down there? No. Oh, geez. This is old. It's a long time ago. I was there in 2006. And there were holes in the walls. Like, it couldn't have gotten much better.
Yeah.
15 years later.
All right, so they averaged. Let me get the mic over here with me. There they are. Where's the average? 16 and a half.
I'm sure it's more than 11.
Yeah, 16 and a half was the average per game, although the Oakland A's were at 11,300. So,
yeah.
And Miami was at 13.
And the only reason they got that high is because the last, like, the
reverse lockout.
Season, yeah.
Oh,
There was a lot of people there when I was there.
That's a big mess. That's a big mess. Okay, anyway, Silver Sluggers were announced Tuesday night. Brian Reynolds did not win. He was a finalist there. Did not win. So there you go. Bucko Mike's getting a Sprite. They got like a new can. What is that? Like a new kind of Sprite with the red at the bottom?
That's the fruit one that they bring it out every Christmas time.
Okay. All right.
Cranberry?
Yeah,
Cranberry
it makes
Sprite?
sense. Cranberry's always a thing.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Okay, so what else we got here? I guess probably get into. They are doing the all MLB awards right now. Apparently, 2-hour show where everybody gets all dolled up and movie type.
Are we gonna go ahead and talk about that now?
Yeah, I'm in right now.
Okay,
because I want to get to the hirings and Paul Skenes and all that stuff. So that's where I'm just kind of moving through these things at the beginning so we can get to the meat of what we really want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also just looking to see, I mean, so far they've only done second team, second base, third base, outfield. So, and shortstop, Bobby Witt and Francisco Lindor. First and second.
Listen, let me throw this out there. I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think they need to clean it up. We talked a little bit about this right before when we were trying to watch it.
Because I said I didn't like it, right?
They're just taking. Well, they're taking forever.
Yeah, I'm not much for. Okay, so I'm not much for the dress up and everything. Like I think it's over the top for what we're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my opinion. But go ahead.
I agree with you. They should throw it all. We should just do it all.
Okay,
it should be 3 hours. Move through things.
Well, but
have a couple breaks.
Yeah, you're burying the lead here, Jake. Get to it. You agreed with me, but I didn't say it out loud. So you got to say it out loud what you're talking about.
Doing all the awards.
There we go. Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, MVP. Yeah. I was just trying to say, like, you're agreeing with me, but I didn't say that when we were live. So I needed you to say it.
You're right. Yeah. Do all the awards.
Yeah, if you're
in that one night.
Exactly.
And do it all. Have a whole big thing. Yes, it would be a longer show, but you would also be handing out more awards and it'd be moving.
Right. Yeah. You wouldn't milk each position of the all MLB team. You wouldn't milk each position of the Silver Sluggers. You would get through them a lot faster. Maybe even release the whole list at once.
Yeah, I mean, you would release the whole first team list. Boom. Read through that whole list. Then release the second team. If you even need 2 teams.
Yeah, I think
we talked about that, and you were kind of against the 2 different teams there, but
it's fine. You're going to do AL, NL in most things, so I don't mind the first team, second team. It's fine. You give an opportunity for 2 people, but it is kind of the thing about saying, let's do it all then. If we're going to do 2-hour show, then let's get it all in there. We could get through these things a little bit quicker without all the skits and all that stuff. I don't know how long those movie things are or the music awards or anything like that. I don't watch any of that stuff because I don't like it. So it's fair that I wouldn't like this either. But
the only reason I don't like that stuff is just because it doesn't pertain to me. I'm not interested in the Grammys. I couldn't care less.
Right. I just feel like that's what this is trying to be.
Right. But I don't watch it because it's the Grammys. I don't watch it because I don't care about the content.
I got you.
I would watch this because I care about who won what award. And I think it's totally fine to have it like a banquet form, like have everybody get up in their, attire or whatever and go for it. Like, I don't know. It's fun.
All right. There you go. 2 different opinions on it.
We don't agree on everything.
No, we don't have to. I want to know who won the awards. And I think if the big awards were being announced for this show, I think I would be interested in tuning in and watching. An all MLB, they don't do a show like this to announce who's making the All-Star game. You know what I mean? Right. It just kind of gets announced. And the Silver Sluggers, they do like a show, but it's also like the Gold Glove and Silver Slugger shows. I I just don't watch anymore. It's long and drawn out.
Yeah.
So, and
But
it's,
that's what
I
they're
guess,
doing.
to
They're
the
long and
course.
drawing out everything rather than just putting it all together and just doing a night.
Right. And I don't mind the gold gloves and silver. Actually, that's a good point. Gold gloves and silver sluggers can be separate. Let's save this let's do the all MLB team. That's how we're going to kick off the daggum show. Right. And then let's go through our awards and set it up and do our awards. And you actually have enough to do all of the stuff too. Cause I know you got to do the skits too. We could back off like the little roast at the beginning and stuff like that. Like, we don't have to do stuff like that, but if you can call it that, right? It was trying to.
Yeah, I didn't see that part.
Anyway, I don't foresee any of the Pirates really up for any of these. They did relievers, they did comeback player, they did. They're halfway through all MLB. They've got outstanding DH. I don't think Kutch is going to be there when you have Marcelo Zuna and Yordan Alvarez and Shohei Ohtani all involved. Like, they're all going to outperform that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I guess nothing to see here Pirates wise, right? Except for maybe that all MLB starting pitcher. There's a chance that you can get
Skenes.
That you can get Skenes in there. Yeah. Yeah, because Shohei's in the NL now. So, yeah. He's getting DH.
Yeah.
So, all right. And it's probably Yordan, right? I mean, that's my guess. Or
probably.
Or Stanton. He didn't really, he was great in the postseason, but
he didn't do anything in the regular season.
All right. Let's move on. We got stuff to talk about. We already started on Skenes, so let's continue with him. What happened on Monday night was we found out the finalists for Rookie of the Year. No surprise, he's in the finalist. We know he's going to be one or two. I think the two of us are still kind of uneasy about it because we feel like this should be an easy one, and it's not. And so it should be, though. It should be.
Yeah, it really should.
And the fact that Merrill is winning at other places does make you think about it a little bit. And
I think I went on record saying it was going to be unanimous.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're worried.
Yeah.
And now I watch all these shows and I'm like, you guys got me worried.
Okay, so is there any comfort? Because the second thing is he was announced as a top 3 finalist for Cy Young Award. Is there any question at this point that this guy's getting Rookie of the Year?
So your Cy Young Award, do you compare that to the MVP? Or do you compare that to the Silver Slugger at your position?
No, I think it's entirely different than Silver Slugger. I think it's higher than, there's only one. Well, I guess there's only one at each position, but for Silver Slugger. But no, it's more than a Silver Slugger. It's the Cy Young. It's the best pitcher.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me because the Hank Aaron Award gets announced tonight, which is the equal of the Cy Young, but it's newer.
You're right.
Because of the way MVP was kind of morphed throughout the season or throughout the history, right? Because it went from whatever it was to most outstanding player and then eventually became MVP. And then the fact that you call it MVP, it really brings on a new meaning, I think, for a lot of voters. And that is value. And if your team's not as good, I can't think of that word I was thinking of. You don't have as much value. You'd really have to perform well above what Shohei or Aaron Judge is doing in order to get it over them if you're on a losing team. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think...
The other reason I brought that up is because Merrill did get a Silver Slugger. So...
Yeah, you could say... But Silver Slugger doesn't have anything to do with... because when you think of the whole thing, Silver Slugger to me is a Gold Glove. Just on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Those are kind of equals, right?
The Hank Aaron Award is the equal to the Cy Young.
Yeah, Hank Aaron Award's this is the best hitter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Overall hitter. All value aside, this guy was the top dog. You know what I mean? And then Cy Young is the same with pitcher. MVP just takes on a whole new, because a pitcher can get an MVP. A pitcher can't get a Hank Aaron Award.
Right.
Not anymore.
Well,
not anymore. Well, I mean, Shohei, but he's getting, he would be getting the Hank Aaron Award as a DH, not as a pitcher. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess.
But the fact is that he's still the same person that pitches.
Tommy Pham.
But if he does.
What's Tommy Pham going up there for? They just announced him. He ain't winning nothing. What's he winning?
I have no idea. I turned it off.
Yeah. It's muted. And I can't unmute it because it'll play for the show. And that's, that's a big no-no.
Right.
So we're not going to go there. Anyway, I think they're just going to talk to him. Sorry. Distracted. Squirrel. Yeah. So anyway, that's the thing is like, there's not enough in the Hank Aaron Award yet. Like there's not enough recognition for it. And I think what we were talking about is put all these awards in the same thing and you finish this thing with Hank Aaron, Cy Young, MVP. And you because right now we don't have a day, we're doing Rookie of the Year. We're doing Manager of the Year. We're doing Cy Young. We're doing MVP. You're putting them on a different pedestal. And the Hank Aaron Award is like a secondary award at this point.
Yeah.
It's like a comeback player of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not, let's not go there. Right.
Right.
So
it needs to be held in the same retrospect as the Cy Young and all that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And Edgar Martinez, outstanding DH. Is that just the all MLB DH? Right?
No, there's an American League and National League.
Oh, I got you. I bet that's fair.
Hey, you gotta have two now. There's two leagues with a DH.
Right. Okay, so let's get back to the point here. Mm-hmm. Paul Skenes, Rookie of the Year finalist, like I said, no surprise. Cy Young finalist. That's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I won't be surprised if he got 30 third place votes.
Because they come up with the finalists and you vote on those three, right?
No. They vote on everybody in the league and then they announce who the top three were.
So you wouldn't be surprised if he got 30 third place votes.
I don't think anybody's putting him first or second.
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
But you don't think anybody else put anyone else at third?
I guess you could say he got 29 and then a couple other people got maybe a nod for National League. Look at the National League board. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot there.
No.
It was a two-man race for a long time.
Yeah, it just and he does stand out like production wise, like game by game, 100% he's in the conversation.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of lack of, overall body of work.
I think that
133 innings compared to, the other guys that are up there in the 170s, 180s.
I think, I think Wheeler eclipsed 200. I
think he did.
Which is a lot of his value. I think there might be some Ronaldo Lopez love or, you know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine like anyone throwing Shota above Skenes or Yamamoto, who was also limited in innings, above Skenes. Close 4, 5, maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe, somewhere in there, but I just don't see it. I don't see it around the league. And it's almost, there's some good guys. There's some guys with some good seasons.
I get what you're saying, but we're also surprised that he was a finalist.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is like, let's say he got 20 third place votes. I guess that still could get him right there. I was going to say, if there's anybody else that maybe got a second place, but no, nobody else. I think the first and second is going to be between Wheeler and Sale, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. He might only have 15. Well, I'd be 16. He'd have to have 16 and he could get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good point. I guess my point in saying that is I don't think he got any first or second.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either.
So either way though, You're on the list of a Cy Young finalist, top 3 in the Cy Young Award. And you're telling me that you're not going to win Rookie of the Year? I just don't see that happening.
Right. Yeah, it would be. I still think that I would still be surprised if he doesn't win it. Even though I know there's that possibility, and it's a little higher than I have originally anticipated.
Yeah.
I'd still be surprised if he doesn't win it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think I'm there. We'll find out on Monday. Yeah, I think it's Monday.
I think so, yeah.
Monday's Rookie of the Year, Tuesday's Manager of the Year, and then Cy Young. Yeah.
We don't have to worry about Manager of the Year, right?
No, we don't. No, we do not.
No,
but so we'll find out Monday night. And actually, I don't know if I know we talked about it, about possibly going live during that. And it's in the works. I think I'm going to. I think the Bucko Banner guys and I are going to go jump on since you're going to be working. So if you get off work, by all means, get on. On Monday.
I think Monday I work literally all day.
That's what you told. You told me you work until late.
I think I work 12 to 9, which is 1 to 10.
So anyway, we're gonna try to do it. It's on at 6, so that's the other thing, But just something casual, something to get on and break it down. So it'll be a good time. It won't be official or anything. It'll just be only on YouTube. So if you're listening to this on audio only, you'll have to catch your way to the YouTube page. We live stream all of our episodes. This is probably a good time to say we live stream all of our episodes on Sunday nights and Thursday nights on YouTube. Even if you prefer the audio only version, it does help us out if you just find your way over to our YouTube page, which is it's the same as everything. Bridge the number 2 Buctober over on YouTube. Search for that. You can find your way to our YouTube page. Hit subscribe. That way you're notified. And also, might as well say it now too. I understand there's a mass exodus from X right now, that there's a lot of people trying out some different apps. So don't rely on Twitter or Blue Sky or Instagram or MySpace or anything to get your information. Just subscribe to
MySpace.
I did. Subscribe to the YouTube page so that you can get a notification over here on YouTube to know when we're live. Just so you don't have to rely on those different sites, because now there's going to be like 10 or 15 popping up and everybody's going to go all over the place. And I got to be honest with you, I try to stay young. I try to stay, techie and all that stuff. I'm not going to be able to keep up with all of those sites. I'm just telling you now, I'm not going to be able to. So, just get on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you are someone familiar with YouTube and you plan on watching it on there, so that you know when we're live and all that good stuff. Let's get into these hires now, because this is the big news. This is like a little bit of energy here, I guess. You know what I mean? The Pirates have actually done something. Bucko Mike says, not by mentioning MySpace, Josh.
Hit me up on AOL.
You showed your age, he said. That is fair. I did that. So anyway, where do you want to go first? Do you want to go the big one? Let's go to the big one. Let's get this thing going here.
Well, first off,
okay.
Before you start,
okay,
they are both big ones.
Oh, you think so? Okay, well,
I do.
There's a little bit of a tip to what I mean. They're not the same level, though.
Debatable.
I'd love to hear this. Let's work on this, and then maybe afterwards you got to stick around and see what in the world Jake's thinking over there. That this is debatable, that these are on the same level. All right. I will also show my age and say that I remember when Matt Hague played for the Pirates, the hit collector, and came up.
That long ago.
Well, but if you're a kid, you don't remember 33 games. Matt Hague.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you
That's
weren't
fair.
watching spring training and glued
Yeah.
to that one magical, if you can call it that, Kevin Newman spring training. Matt Hague
Wow.
hired as the new Pirates hitting coach. I want to hear your thoughts kind of from, well, because I know your initial thought.
Mhm.
So I want to know your initial thought, just to share that as much as you want, and then move your way into like where you are now, if that has changed.
Yeah. So initial thought was, I think you sent it to me. You sent the hit collector.
I did. I said
Like,
the
what
hit
is he-
collector.
First off, I didn't even remember that nickname.
Oh, okay.
So I had to like,
See,
what's he
showing
talking
my
about?
age.
I'm like, what is he talking about? So I like looked at him like, we hired Matt Hague, and then I just sent you back a palm face emoji.
Mhm.
Like, seriously, we're gonna do this. We're gonna hire this guy. So my initial thought being, this is a Pirates move. Let's take a guy who was in our system, who failed at the major league level, showed that he could perform in AAA, but couldn't make the transition, sorry, to the major leagues. And I'm like, that's one of our biggest problems is our guys they're hitting in the minors, they come to the majors and they stink. It's like they can't make that transition clean. So let's hire this guy who couldn't do it either. And I'm just like, what do we do? This is a very Pirates move. Well, like I said, that was my initial reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I then take some steps back, look some stuff up, watch some podcasts, and totally redeem yourself. But no, this is a guy who moved up quick through the Toronto organization as a coach, as a hitting coach, and you see guys who turned. There's season before he made it to the majors, right? I know. Bear with me. Vladdy had a down year. He comes up to the major league level. Vladdy has a good year. Is there a correlation? I don't know. I don't know what those two talked about, if they talked at all. But there's guys on that roster that you can see got better. And while he was the assistant hitting coach, I get it. But this is just another promotion. Like, he's been promoted 2 or 3 straight years now. So he's obviously doing something right. And he's obviously being seen not just in Pittsburgh as a dude who's moving his way up. He was in Toronto. Like, he wasn't in our system as a coach.
Yeah, and he basically went from like player to coach immediately, which does kind of give you a nod that maybe Toronto saw something there and said, "Hey, listen, it's not working, but we see something here."
Yeah.
He's only 39. So like, this is a young coach too.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, my initial thought when you threw that up was you were like, I don't like it. And I was like, is he too young, or like, what are we thinking of? And it was just maybe the fact that you just, you hadn't realized it's all there. But when you and I talked a couple days ago, I told you, I was like, well, listen, it's not the guys like Barry Bonds who are good hitting coaches, right? Because they just say, well, you just do this. And it's harder to teach a guy who naturally does it. Here we go. Ethan coming in. Yeah, stealing my thunder here, Ethan. He said it's talented players that don't succeed at much at coaching because they never had to be coached. It was talent. Less talented players had to work harder, learn and apply lessons more. So Ethan Houlihan, thanks for jumping in, and you very well put. And that is it. Like, when we were talking on the phone the other day, I said, this guy heard everything under the sun trying to make it work, right? He's applied so many different things. But not only that, but like the things that you hear people talking about that are good about him, pitch recognition, like, things like that are, there's a little bit of a different approach. And sure, he had one approach, like he didn't have a lot of power. he was a hit guy. I mean, he hit almost 300 in the minor leagues for his career, which was a lot more years in the minor leagues than he would have liked it to be. So it actually speaks to something. But it's things like that actually do get, like, they do carry a lot of weight. I mean, Andy Haynes didn't make it past Division II, I saw somebody say. Right. And so in a way, you're like, and he's not, right, he didn't work here, and we have our reasons for why he didn't work here, but he's also been employed by more than the Pirates. Like, there are teams that are hiring that guy. So it's, it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be someone who succeeded at this level, because like Ethan said, that talent, you take that talent away. When you have a natural ability to do things, you don't know how to produce that. It was natural to you. Right. And so for the other guys, it's there. But I've heard a lot of really good things about individualistic approach. Hey, I'm going to go at what you're good at, and I'm going to do, which is what we've heard about the pitching side of things already. And I would imagine, and if anybody knows any different, but I would imagine that the same goes for hitting, and or the same goes this year as in years past, where the hitting coach of the Major League Club is kind of in charge of the development of the entire system. So if that's the case, this is probably a good guy to have at the helm of that sort of effort, because this is a guy who was contact, and I've seen some posts about Toronto being, I think it was Nola Jeffy. I want to shout him out because I remember who tweeted it. Nola Jeffy had a tweet out that said he went and looked at Toronto's system and how they were doing, and they're top 5 in contact in the MLB. And you talk about something that the Pirates struggle with is, even in the minor leagues, a lot of strikeouts, which are always going to equal a lot of strikeouts in the major leagues. And I'm on the record saying strikeouts don't bother me in certain situations. I just want a guy if there's a guy on third, you can't strike out. How many times this year the Pirates with runners in scoring position, back-to-back strikeouts? Like, absolutely can't happen.
Yeah.
Like, you could make 10 errors in a row. Actually, not in a row. You could make 10 errors in a week, and that wouldn't be as bad as back-to-back strikeouts with runners in scoring position. I might be exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying. It's just to prove a point here, is that it happens a lot. And I'm hoping that this is exactly the type of voice that they need to hear, where, I mean, we've heard it. We've heard that said, that his coaching style from a player, right? That his coaching style was basically trust the process. When there's runners in scoring position, they're hitting, not philosophy, but their game plan didn't change. Stick to it. And it's like, no. You get guys on, your approach changes. You get guys in scoring possession. You get a guy at third with less than 2 outs. It changes. You have to put the ball in play. And I'm even okay saying, I get it. Don't go out there and just slap at the first pitch he throws. Wait for your pitch until you get 2 strikes. Then you better choke up, and you better not miss. And you better not look if it's close. Put the ball in play, because even a ground out to second scores a run in certain situations. And if the infield's in, well, you have a chance to get it through the infield as well. And also, don't put on the contact play if that's the case. What do you got, Jake?
Yeah, it's just, so I also want to express that 90% of the time, my initial reactions are worst, like, very pessimistic. I'm very, very quick. I wouldn't use the word judge, but I'm very quick to be like, this sucks. This is a Pirates move, when it's really not how I feel. Like, usually I'll go back and look through some stuff and really develop a more educated opinion on what's going on. So just to clarify that, I just don't.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is
usually you guys never hear my initial take, my initial, because I usually cover that up and be like, let's not do that. But I don't know.
well,
I thought it was because I felt like a lot of Pirates fans our age or older would think that.
yeah.
And I don't know. I want to throw that out there because it's like, no, that's not the right way to think, even if you have an initial reaction.
Yeah.
Do
that's
some
fair.
digging, figure out if it's actually,
Or just pay if
a
you don't
bad
want
move or
to
not.
pay attention to the people who are, right?
Or pay
And I
attention,
think that's
right.
where you were even at. Like we had that conversation, and then there's obviously we were late to this a little bit. There's been a couple releases out there of people talking about things, and so you get to listen to those a little bit. And those are the guys who probably did their homework because you didn't have to until today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that gets to be a part of that and listen to them. And no, I think it's really good, but it was kind of surprising to me as it kind of developed, because I was like, okay, what I mean? You start reading things, and you start seeing, all the different things in the, the Fangraphs article. There was something in the Athletic even before that. And so like there was a couple articles that I was able to read through about, long before this was ever a thing. So pretty interesting. And then, in the same light, getting an opportunity to just kind of develop your thought process around that, compare it to what it was to what it is, and things like that. Like even saying like, hey, I mean, like he made it further than the last guy did, if that's what you care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it. Hearing what different guys say about him too is big.
Mhm.
Having that voice in the clubhouse, which apparently a lot of people like. So I think it's a good thing. But then also just saying like, wait a minute, before I go all in here, like I'm stepping back because it's hard to believe right now that the Pirates are hiring someone good. So then they announced that they've hired Brent Strom as an assistant pitching coach. This is not the bullpen coach replacement, as you might think. This is an assistant pitching coach. He was the Diamondbacks pitching coach the last 3 years. He was with the Astros before that, all the way back to, as my computer lets us know, that someone in the front seat at the front door. All the way back to.
Wife's home.
I thought she was home before this, but I guess that's where we're at. All the way back to 2014 with the Astros. This guy's been to the World Series. He's led teams. You could talk about the guy who unlocked what Garrett Cole became, the guy who figured out what to do with Charlie Morton. And these are just the guys that are close to home. But then, more recently, let's talk about Zach Gallen, who was came up through the Cardinals, traded to Miami or Tampa, whichever one it was, I forget. And then dealt off to, it was Miami, and then dealt off to, I think Arizona. And then still, as he got up there, I was like, this guy just isn't, it's this guy who's there who, kind of, brought the best out of Zach Gallen as well. Seems like he's an older guy. We went from 39 to what, like 76?
76?
I think, yeah. A completely different scenario in this case. And
yeah,
so overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah. I mean, this is so when I was saying, about debatable that these are equal signings, because of the wealth of knowledge and of that Strom brings, even if he is just the assistant, it's still going to make Oscar Marin a better pitching coach. You know what I mean? Like he came in my opinion, to work with Skenes and Jones and Keller, probably. Keller's got kind of one of those inconsistent kind of deals that like Charlie Morton had.
Yeah,
you know
probably
what I mean?
Bednar too. And Holderman.
You're just going to name everybody.
I'm going to name everybody. He's the assistant pitching coach.
But no, I'm just saying, like, he's the assistant pitching coach, right? So, like, where Oscar Marin's not strong, Strom is. You know what I mean? So he's going to be the one filling in the gaps.
Mm.
And just by doing that, Oscar Marine is going to be a more well-rounded pitching coach as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is huge. I think it's huge for our pitchers. I think it's huge for Oscar Marine. I think it's huge for just about everybody in the room. I think he's that big of a guy. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I like it. I mean, certainly good. I mean, the pitching staff is on, kind of the strength meter of this team. And it seems that they're going to have to rely on that pitching even more. So go get some help, even if it's this way. Obviously, we think they'll get some bullpen pieces as well and see what they do there. But also, at the same time, Matt Hague has an undertaking here in front of him that will make or break this team, that will make them successful or unsuccessful. So I still think that there's so much more stress and so much more importance on the side of the hitting coach, because this is it, man. Like, that's where this team will live and die. Their pitching staff, albeit has holes, right? But they are a pitching staff that can win more games than right now our offense is capable of bailing them out. You know what I'm saying? And runners in scoring position is a big deal. And that seemed to be the biggest hole of the guy that left this job.
Yeah.
The fact that you're not changing your approach with runners in scoring position directly correlates with our numbers with runners in scoring position. And so I almost think anyone that came into this job was gonna, in the interview process, they were gonna ask that question.
You almost have to.
Because as far as hitting philosophy, Jake, I don't know that it's only on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You telling me that Derek Shelton, as a former hitting coach, is not feeding into hitting philosophy? That Ben Sherrington's, who's building this team,
yeah,
has input. He's hiring a certain kind of guy. Or he's signing, I guess we should say. He's signing certain types of players, although I'm not sure that we can say that with any sort of confidence right now. Right? I don't see that. Like, even if you would say, like, yeah, I think so, and then you look at BDLC and you're like, well, I don't know about that one. I don't know what happened there. Because it just didn't look good from the moment that it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we tried to say, let's try to find the silver lining. And we were able to do so. He's got power. There's tools. But ultimately it was, I don't know a fan who was excited about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's, there's so much pressure right now on the offensive side of things for prospects to start actually showing up on the offensive side, for this front office to just sign a player or two or trade for a player or two who can be an impact bat in the lineup. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's, for me, that's the most important signing. And man, I gotta say, like, surprisingly, I think they killed it this week.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that'll last, right?
Time will tell.
I don't know how long that's going to last. And I don't mean the feeling of that, but I mean, how long are they going to kill it, right? Because just as fast as they killed it this week with the guys that they hired, they may also just kill it in another sense of the word with somebody that they signed. So, you know what I mean? At least we know Austin Hedges is off the board at this point. Kevin Newman is off the board at this point. So far, so good.
So, like, I'm pretty sure the Angels are the only ones that are, like, making moves for players right now.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of, like, I think the email is stuck in their junk mail that the offseason began, and the Angels have all their filters off, apparently. And they're just signing up for everything. They're going after it.
Well, you've seen this. What, last year? The Royals went out real early, started signing a bunch of people, and they kept it going all off season. They ended up making the playoffs.
I didn't think about that. I didn't remember them.
I'm not saying the Angels are, because they went out there. They got Waka early. Who else? They got a couple guys early in the off season, but not saying the Angels are hiring or signing the same type of guys and they're going to be in the playoffs next year. Right. I'm just saying it happened.
Right. That makes sense. They're talking to Paul Skenes right now. I don't know why I said that. Everybody just turned off our podcast. Well, those watching live are like, wait, what? So I don't know what they're doing. They're just chatting with him. Oh, all MLB on the table. Did he get it? I'm going to refresh the page here. We've got second base. We've got shortstop. We said that. Catchers are Contreras and Perez. First base are Vlad Jr. There you go. And Bryce Harper. Relief pitchers, Clase, Helsley, first team. Mason Miller, Kirby Yates, second team. DH, Otani, and Alvarez. Starting pitchers, first team, all MLB. Jake. First team, all MLB. Chris Sale, Tarek Skubal. I did it again. Tarek Skubal, Zach Wheeler, Corbin Burns, and Paul Skenes. Let's go. That's good. Hey, so this is
real good.
He's got the All-Star nod. He started in the All-Star game. Formerly, I would say, hopefully, maybe this catches on, maybe it doesn't. Formerly, All-Stars appearances are on your resume. But that means you were good for half a season, as they did on the onset of this show, shared this same thing. And this here is the end of year sort of, you got your Pro Bowl is at the end of the season. You got your All-American things, as you were the Heisman, all those stuff. It waits till the end of the season for that stuff. So this All MLB is essentially your no National American. You got first team, second team. And it looks like they did 5 because there's 5 starters in a rotation. So they did 5. I imagine they're going to list a second team there. I don't really know. But in order, it's Sale, Skubal, Skenes, Wheeler, Burns. I don't know if that order is on purpose. But that's your order, man. Paul Skenes.
I mean, you're right. We didn't know how many they were going to name. I didn't pay attention that much last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with them naming 5, it doesn't surprise me that he got it.
Well, this is American and National League too.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see, there's 2 American League pitchers there. And then Wheeler, Sale are the other 2 National League pitchers, which are probably 1 and 2 in the Cy Young. And Skubal's running away with the Cy Young on that side. But Corbin Burns was also great. But, I mean, there's some names that, there's some good pitchers that had good seasons.
Garrett Cole?
That are, he also missed a lot.
Yeah.
More than Skenes did even, you know what I mean? But this is great, man. So, just let's go to the outfield here, Jake. At the beginning of the show, they did outfield, and second team, I see a guy who made second, not first team, but second team. His name's Jackson Merrill. I knew what the name was. I was acting like I didn't know. So you telling me that you're going to get a second teamer in front of a first teamer for Rookie of the Year?
I've seen worse things happen.
He's got it in the bag. He's got it in the bag. He has to.
Hey, I said it was going to be unanimous. So
yeah.
I still think he gets it. It's obviously not going to be unanimous.
Cool deal, man. All MLB. We said, at the beginning of our show that there was a chance they could go that route. And here we are. That's a good thing. One more for the All MLB nod.
Love
for
it.
Paul Skenes. This is the beginning of his awards. I believe that. This is the beginning. So, or the beginning's already started, right? He's already gotten some awards for Rookie of the Year just from some other, not the officials, right?
Sure.
So, I'd say all in all, pretty good week.
Yeah. Dynamite drop in, Monty. I mean, there's nothing to say. I mean, that was a pretty yes or no question.
That's fair. So, earlier in this episode, for those of you watching, you probably saw, you ever take a drink of something and it goes down before you decide to swallow? I thought, that's the second time today, by the way, that's happened to me, which doesn't look good for just me. But that time earlier, I was out for like 10 minutes, just coughing. I was able to be okay here. So, you got anything else, man? We're close. We're close to that time. We can wrap it up here shortly if you'd like, or if you ever got anything extra to throw in there.
I don't really have anything Pirates related.
Are you back? Are you out Sunday? Or are you still in Sunday?
It's up in the air.
All
I
right.
technically have a work meeting.
We'll talk off.
Yeah.
All right.
But anybody else do Amazon shared accounts?
Here we go.
Because we did a household thing today, right? We were split it a little bit so that she doesn't see what I buy for her. I can't see what she buys for me. Same account. I'm trying to set it up, and I said, "Do I use your phone number?" She said, "You have 3 brain cells, and they're not working very well right now."
Okay. I do.
I was going to the listen. It was tough.
She doesn't need all of my text searches on her history, so I've got my own account that's linked. It's like a split account.
Great.
Yeah, for sure. Canyon, appreciate you being here. You see how Canyon, he's wrapping things up for us. He says, good show, guys. That way he knows, like, hey, they need to shut this thing down, play the music, and get the heck off my screen so I can do something else. I appreciate that, Canyon. Thanks for wrapping us up here. Because this was going to drag on talking about Amazon Prime. We don't need to do that. So thanks for listening. All the things that Keely's about to tell you, but subscribe on YouTube. And go tell somebody else to subscribe on YouTube, because they might have a different social media platform than you do. Let's go, Bucks.
Go, Bucks.
Thanks for listening to my dad and Uncle Jake on the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2Buctober. Don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are released. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go, Bucks.